It is 4 p.m. We bring developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories are watching this last Friday of June 2026. The PNP-CIDG has recommended the filing of complaints for alleged violation of the Anti-Hazing Act against several people in connection with the deaths of Rene Baterbonia and Divine Lily. The CIDG says the victims were allegedly subjected to extreme physical activities, punishment exercises, and hazardous sea-based training before they drowned on June 8. Authorities also cited testimonies from former Ateneo players who claimed similar near-drowning incidents during a 2016 training camp. The respondents include former head coach Tab Baldwin, along with Ateneo coaching staff and even utilities staff.
We have over 620 pages of testimony, all which corroborate to the fact that they were subjected to extreme weather and extreme conditions which resulted in death. Yung una, nung tinanong namin si Tab Baldwin kung may nangyari ng ganito dati na muntik malunod, sabi niya wala. However, his former players testified that they nearly drowned.
We have a statement of testimonies what happened before 2016. And sabi na they were subjected to swimming, hindi naman sila marunong maglangoy. The pieces of evidence that were gathered shows that a case can be prosecuted.
The NBI is supposed to file today a complaint for qualified human trafficking against former Congressman Mike Defensor. The complaint stems from the April raid on a KTV bar in Pasig City, where 54 women were rescued from alleged sexual exploitation. Investigators allegedly found that the building's layout had been modified to facilitate the suspected human trafficking operations. Also to be named in the complaint are supposed to be Defensor's wife, 2 children, and several officials of Cliff Point Development Corporation. The developer of online game Gorebox has declined an invitation to attend the Senate hearing on the Tacloban school shooting set for July 1st. In a letter to the Senate committee, Germany-based developer Felix Philipp said he would not appear either in person or via Zoom after quote-unquote careful consideration. Philipp stressed that Gorebox is rated for users 18 and above and is not intended or directed at minors. Committee Chair Senator Risa Ontiveros said she was disappointed by the decision and will seek the assistance of the German embassy. Police earlier said that one of the grade 9 suspects in the Tacloban school shooting was an active Gorebox player.
And Filipinos gave U.S. President Donald Trump the highest confidence rating among 36 countries. 68% of respondents in the adult respondents in a Pew Research Center survey expressed trust in Trump's handling of world affairs. While a majority of Filipinos viewed the U.S. favorably, the report says support is lower than in previous years. Many Filipinos say that the U.S. promotes global peace and stability, with majority approving Trump's approach to international humanitarian aid.
The Bangko Sentral Monetary Board member Benjamin Diokno warns of an economic slowdown, forecasting that 2026 growth could drop to between 4 to 5%. On Money Talks this morning, Diokno said the Philippines faces what seems like a stagflation scenario as population growth catches up to a sluggish economy.
I'm a bit more optimistic than RC. I see growth this year at around 4 to 5%, and maybe 4.5 to 5.5 next year. I think infrastructure will continue to lag behind. I think it's not only government spending, it's the quality of government spending. If you're thinking of the long run, I think we really have to continue with a build program, and so I think the 5% to GDP ratio for infrastructure should not be is not negotiable. That should be the minimum, and I understand that they will have around 4% only for next year. To me, that's bad.
To counter stalling government construction, Dr. said the state must hit a non-negotiable 5% infrastructure to GDP ratio. He urged the country's sovereign wealth fund, Maharlika, to step in.
You know, I thought of the Maharlika Investment Fund way back when I was governor, because we have our GIR, gross international reserves, was huge. And so I said, instead of borrowing money from the World Bank or the ADB or the AIIB, why not use this money for? So that was my first. And so my bias is that the Maharlika Investment Fund should be used for infrastructure spending in whatever form. Okay, so that's my take.
So this includes energy investments. So
If that's worthwhile, then so be it, right? But you have to. It has to be. You have to prioritize projects that are fundable by the Maharlika Investment Fund.
Yokno added that the 2027 budget looks to be cutting infrastructure spending further to around 4%. He said it's going to be bad for long-term development and sets up a high-stakes performance review for President Bongbong Marcos's upcoming State of the Nation address.
This is a moment of truth for the president, because remember last year, his "Mahiya naman kayo" speech. I think the people will be asking, "What have you done?" Okay, I think they will be asking for that, and he should be ready to give an answer.
And joining us in a bit will be Storycon's resident political heckler, Mr. Ronald Llamas. Pero wala pa siya. Pero from the Philippine Star.
Wala pa din. Oh, nandiyan
wala
na.
pa rin. Andiyan na.
Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi, everybody.
Happy weekend, Ani.
Oh, ito talaga, weekend na talaga.
Naku, we were speculating pa naman na magkasama kayo ni Ronald.
Oh. Hindi, platter yung platter.
So hindi ka co-platter. Co-platter pala, hindi co-platter.
Hindi co-platter.
Hindi ka co-platter.
Hindi
Co-platter,
ako
co-platter.
co-platter. Oo. Siya yung platter. So,
Oy,
pagdating yung maya-maya, matraffic na uli, matraffic.
Oo nga eh. Nagulat ba kayo sa Pew Research Center survey? O hindi?
Lagi naman tayong lahat ng ganyang mga surveys in comparative countries' trust in the US.
It's always high.
Lagi tayong nasa taas, mataas na mataas lagi Pilipinas. Whether in the country itself, in the government, or whoever is leading
Or the
the
leader.
US.
Yeah,
Oo.
agree.
Yeah, pero si
Lagi
Trump
naman
is not
ganyan.
your typical leader, and these are not normal times.
Medyo naman, alam mo naman dito,
These aren't
mataas din naman
normal
ang rating
times.
sa atin ng mga ganyang ganyang mga style of leadership. Alam naman
Nagkiklik
ninyo
sa atin,
yun.
no? I get what you mean. Nagkiklik nga sa atin.
Yeah.
Funny that you
Diba?
should say that because just yesterday, the other person who said that these are not normal times was former Secretary of State John Kerry. In an interview with, I'm trying to remember which outlet it was, but he said these are not normal times because they're in the history of the United States. Presidents often don't use their platform to attack their political rivals
Yeah.
Or social media platforms.
or whatever platform is at your disposal. You don't use it to attack your platforms, right?
Ito pati social media
Kaya nga.
platforms. Tapos,
Sanay na sanay si Trump dyan, sa SOCMED. Sanay na sanay siya.
In fact, he put up his own platform. Yung Truth
Yeah.
Social.
Social.
Nung binablock siya ng ng mga regular
Nung block
media
ng Twitter.
platforms, gawa siya ng sarili. Kaya nga. Saka yung hindi lang siya SOCMED savvy, he's a regular media savvy.
Yeah.
Dating dating TV he's a broadcaster.
He's a reality TV star. Diba?
Yeah.
On The Apprentice.
Kaya nga. Kaya talaga siya, media savvy.
Although, is it
Alam
something
niya.
that you would call, is media savvy the right phrase for it?
Yeah.
Sa
it
yung
is.
paggamit
Yes,
niya ng
oo.
media.
Somebody who's,
Although he's attacking the media. Yeah.
The mainstream media. He attacks
Yeah.
mainly only the mainstream media, not outlets
Nakikipag-away
like
siya lagi. Paano
Fox
hindi daw
News.
kampi sa kanya?
Oo.
Okay. I tend to think of it kasi as media sabit eh. Not media
Sabit. Sabit. Not savvy. He was,
He is savvy. He knows how to use the media
Exactly. I
for
agree.
his personal purposes. Yan.
Okay.
Multimedia savvy
media
siya.
in all its varied forms at present, not just the mainstream media anymore.
Yeah. Multimedia. Hindi ako
The,
nagugulat doon sa ano.
you know what's surprising is, moving away from Trump now to another topic, what's surprising is the list of people that the CIDG has recommended filing charges for in relation to the Ateneo drowning incident.
Hindi kompleto eh. Meron bang mga taga-Ateneo na administrative?
Wala pa.
I think the highest they got was Tabaldwin eh.
That's the highest, and I'm just
Ay, here you
wondering
go.
why sinama pa yung physical therapist, the ball boys,
Tsaka utility, yeah.
the ball boys, the physical therapists.
I'm not sure.
Tapos?
I think it's something you have to check. Pero what I heard was these are the guys who were there in Aurora. So yung mga wala sa Aurora, even though they appear to be part of,
And the student manager.
Although they appear to be part of the training routine, hindi sila kasama dito. Like for example, what's the name of the guy?
Si Epo Kimpo.
Yeah, si Mr. Kimpo.
Which is my point. It's very surprising. Again, why would you include the student managers, the ball boys,
Or the
and
ball
the
boys.
physical therapists?
The ball boys.
And si Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla was asked this during the press con earlier, and he said something along the lines of, nandun sila lahat. They were all in the water.
It's proximity to the
But
scene of the alleged
does
crime.
that make them
Actually, under the
perpetrators?
law, ang kasama dapat are school administrators,
Yes.
certain school administrators. Anti-hazing yan eh. Kung anti-hazing ang
Yeah.
iaano nila, kasama sa responsibilidad
Yes.
yung accountable,
Oo.
yung school administrators.
Well, in today's press conference, it seems Secretary Remulla absolved the school, saying that Father Bobby Yap did not know about this training,
Although,
which leaves questions unanswered pa rin. If
dun
they
sa
did,
anti-hazing law, hindi nakalagay yun na
pag
porque
wala-
you do
oo.
not know.
Oo, if whether you knew about it or not. And
Yes.
there are further questions here, namely, it's been happening. I mean, this is not the
Yes.
first time they've gone to that place,
Yeah.
right? How could
Especially
a
nga
school,
na it's not the first time to that place and yung ganong klase daw na, according to the testimony ng iba,
how could,
na
how
it's
could
not the first time na may ganyan silang klaseng ka-rigorous na training.
How could the school not know about it, di ba? And even if they didn't, and there were also reports that surfaced in the last several days na yung men's basketball team, because they're such a prized team, that they are allowed to sort of go their own way, that yung university athletics office does not have control of them, right? So there's also the question of, okay, why is that the case? Bakit hindi nila, for example, nila kailangan humingi ng permission from the UAO to conduct this kind of training? So anyway,
Ano,
that's very curious. That's
do
very-
everything to win, ganun ba yun?
That's very curious to me na sinama pa yung mga ball boys, the physical therapists. And again, ang sagot ni Secretary Remulla sa question na, will there be charges against Ateneo, the administrator here? I think he deferred it to the DOJ.
Kaya sa huli, prosecutor yung mag-decide eh.
Prosecutor.
But you know what?
Sabagay, recommendation pa lang yan.
I was looking at RA 11053, itong amendment to the anti-hazing law of the 1990s.
Basahin mo yung
May
language.
ano eh, merong mga exemptions. Well, actually, let me put it this way. Mas malawag yung amendment to the anti-hazing law sa mga activities ng mga groups that have to do with physical exertion. Like, for example, the police, the military, and where's that phrase there? Uniform
Kasama daw
learning
yan sa
institutions.
training nila.
Oo, and the customary athletic events. Let me read to you Section 3 of RA 11053. So, all forms of hazing shall be prohibited in fraternities, sororities. We know all that already. Ito yung provided that the physical, mental, and practices to determine and enhance the physical, mental, psychological fitness of prospective members of the AFP and PNP as approved by the Secretary of Defense and NAPOLCOM shall not be considered as hazing. Okay, that's one. That's for PNP, AFP. Number two, provided further, exemption provided herein also applies to similar procedures and practices approved by heads of other uniformed learning institutions. Okay, number two yun.
Uniform dyan, ha?
Oh, and then number three, this provision, yung prohibition on hazing, shall not apply to any customary athletic events or other similar contests or competitions or any activity or conduct that furthers a legal and legitimate objective, subject, of course, to prior submission of a medical clearance or certificate. Not saying that this activity was exempt, pero the law, as amended, provides for some leeway when it comes to the physical activities of groups that are
Athletes.
recognized to be physically rigorous to begin with.
Eh, maintindihan naman yan
means-
natin yun kung yun ang training ng Special Action Force. For example, di ba?
Or mga
Sa
atleta.
military at police, talagang meron mga specialized training sila na ganyan, na tetestingin yung physical prowess mo and ano.
Yeah.
So,
Meron
by-
talaga silang ganun na
so-
talagang super mahirapan talaga yun.
Ed,
Pero
your-
in this case, basketball to eh.
Yeah.
Ito.
So Ed, your point is by the language of Section 2 of the anti-hazing law,
Section 3.
Section 2 is definition of terms.
Ah,
Yes,
Section
Section 3 is a prohibition. By the language of Sections 2 and 3, mukhang may kaso nga.
Well,
There's enough to-
Section 2 may kaso. Kasi Section 2 is a general definition of hazing eh. So Section 3, ang exemptions
Yung
eh.
athletics kasi. Dahil sa athletics.
Of course, I'm not making any conclusion here because I'm not a lawyer naman to begin with. And I'm sure pagtatalunan to ng mga abogado eh. Dito malamang iikot yung mga pagtatalo eh. Pero sa Section 3 kasi also recognizes that there are activities by certain groups that have to do with strenuous physical activities. Like yung
Hindi
AFP,
mo naman lulunurin
PNP,
yung ano, no?
uniformed learning institutions, and customary athletic events. So, may
Customary.
ganun silang leeway. But I suppose, baka sa IRR, baka, baka meron yung rules or regulations on yung paghihimay, kung ano yung mga safeguards. Kasi kahit paano
Saka
kailangan ng safeguards
pag-aaralan
yan
din kung yung circumstances dyan, you recklessly put someone
Yeah.
in danger.
Yeah.
Kasama
Yeah.
yan dyan.
But-
Sa customary
but that
athletic
phrase,
events.
nor shall this provision apply to any customary athletic events or other similar contests or competitions. That seems to be parang lusot.
I can't say it's lusot eh. What I'm saying is, malamang dyan iikot ng ilan sa mga arguments eh, na mas may pagluluwag na binibigay yung batas sa mga activities ng mga strenuous strenuous
Tanong nga
activities
kung
ng mga
customary
grupo nila.
yan.
Like, sabi nga ni Ami pag nagtitraining ka ng PNP SAF, pahihirapan ka talaga.
Siyempre, pahihirapan ka talaga.
Oo.
nun. Talagang pahirapan yun.
Oo, pero that would
Pagkakapangin ka dun sa ilalim
that
ng
would
mga
be
kung
subject
ano-ano eh.
to approval by the head of the PNP or the AFP or the NAPOLCOM and so on
Alam
down
ko,
the line.
SOP sa kanila yan.
So specifically, the specific provisions, that Secretary Remulla mentioned in the press conference earlier, under RA 11053 is forced calisthenics and exposure to the weather.
Yeah, that's in Section 2.
Yung forced calisthenics, I presume that the lawyers will debate that as well and say it's not forced. They came here of their own free will. And the other thing for me is on the question of why all 11 personnel are being recommended for charges. He said they were all on the beach, no one stopped it, no one questioned it, and no one pointed out that it was dangerous. But wasn't the point
Parang
that they
act of omission.
but they didn't know it was dangerous? That much was clear in all the testimonies that came out, right? They didn't know it was that dangerous.
But they also knew that it was dangerous kasi they were also briefed ahead of time.
Yeah.
For
on
rip
riptides.
currents, but Oh, what
You
are
were
we
also
showing here?
you were also told to expect that there's a danger of
There's
yeah,
danger of
right.
rip currents.
Yeah, malakas yun eh. Malakas yun.
Now, as
I
to the
don't know, it's
question
not
of ano,
clear.
as to the question of bakit hazing, like we were saying before pa, di ba? Yung definition ng terms ng hazing had been expanded.
Yeah, it's
Ay
broad.
nga pala, kasama natin si ano, ang ating resident political philosopher, conspirator at perpetrator.
Agitator.
And coup plotter.
Agitator kasi sa linggo may ano meron-
Platter.
And who walked in at 4:18 p.m.
Yeah,
Kaya hindi ako nagsasalita.
Okay.
Kaya
Our
kaya-
resident political truant. Better?
Ako nagpaalam na late ako, ikaw pala yung late.
ikaw, diyan ka na nakatira, Ani.
Oo. Ikaw na traffic ka. Matraffic na uli, no? Mura na kasi gasolina eh.
Ay,
Nagmura ng konti.
our guest pala si Yuna.
Let's pivot now and bring in our first guest this Friday. We're talking to attorney Lorna Kapunan. She is one of the private prosecutors in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. She was also lawyer to the family of hazing victim Atio Castillo, if you guys remember. Welcome to StoryCon, Attorney Kapunan.
Magandang
Yeah.
hapon po.
Attorney, hi.
Good afternoon, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at magandang hapon sa lahat ng nanonood at nakikinig.
Nakakasilaw.
Bakit sisilaw ka?
Yung suot niya, pink na pink eh. Oh.
Sisilaw ka.
Riting ba?
Hoy,
Isipin yung
pangit.
ibis mo.
Well, let's begin with since we were talking about the Ateneo drowning, attorney. Let's begin there. You have experience in the enactment of the anti-hazing law. What do you think? Does this case fall within those bounds?
Could you repeat kasi you got blurred there.
Parang medyo
Well,
choppy
the
yung linya.
anti-hazing law, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Med-
We can hear you po.
May
Okay.
delay.
The anti-hazing law really, I think, is historical, and it is the first legislation whole history of Congress that was passed, that was fastest in its passage. No? It took less than 6 months to be passed. In fact, probably took less than 3 months. No? Because from the House to the Senate and the BICAM, it immediately became a law. This was in response to this was in reaction to what really happened to our client Acho Castillo when he died from wood paddling in a hazing incident at the UST, which happened inside the UST library during the initiation of the Aegis Juris fraternity. Acho's case is very sad because Acho Castillo was 22 years old. He is the last in a long line of descendants, male descendants of Jose Rizal's family. He's the only son of Mini and the father Castillo, and that line ended with him. And so this really was very tragic for the whole family. He did not want to enter the fraternity. He wanted to focus on studying, but then he was persuaded because one of the founders of the fraternity was also then and probably still is now, the head of the UST law department. And
Yeah.
so he joined, and on the day after he joined, he was subject to hazing and could have survived the hazing if the fraternity members or those there present, including senior members of the fraternity, brought him to the hospital.
Yeah.
But that did not happen. There was a cover-up, and as the story is narrated, and the decision, which came out 7 years after this happened in September. This happened in September of 2017. And 7 years later, the Regional Trial Court of
Yeah.
Manila, Branch 11, came out with a conviction
Yeah.
for 11 fraternity members.
So
Marami nag-cover up dito. It initially started with 31 respondents accused. senior brothers through their lawyers, including school administration did several cover-ups. So it ended up with 11.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am?
11 accused who were convicted.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if I may, ma'am, kasi yung case po ni Acho Castillo, I suppose it would it can be described as yung what most people would imagine hazing to be. Yung papasok ka sa fraternity, tapos pahihirapan ka talaga ng matindi. That's how most people actually imagine hazing to be. Whether it's PMA or one of those fraternities in college
Yep.
or in high school. In the case po dun sa nangyari sa Aurora, I can imagine a lot of people are confused kung bakit sa hazing. Of course, we've had a lot of discussion on this already. Pero from the perspective of a lawyer po, and somebody who has experience prosecuting hazing cases, how does the anti-hazing law apply to what happened to the two basketball players?
Magandang segue natin because of the Acho Castillo case. The law had significant and major amendments. And let me cite a few. No? First of all, dati yung lumang anti-hazing law applied only to fraternities and sororities inside the schools. The applicability now extended to all organizations, pwedeng community organizations, pwedeng hindi lang fraternity, sorority, any organization, whether community, out of school base, which resorts to activities to test as a prerequisite. Kasi ang
Yes, ma'am.
unang-unang element is any activity. So rinidefine po ang hazing to include not only physical, no, it included emotional, any physical or psychological suffering. Or harm or injury. So lahat yun. And I think because of the expansion of the definition, this activity of the Ateneo basketball team included that, no, psychologically. Kasi alam nila na 20 lang sila, no? And out there, athletes, I think, who had to undergo the training, and they probably were told only 17 of them will consent. So pressure na yun, no? Psychological pressure.
Ma'am, nag-freeze
To
ata.
undergo.
Nag-freeze.
They had to undergo that process, no? And no? So yung activity is covered. Ang major amendment sa anti-hazing law ng 2018 is kung dati yung old law only required regulation. Sa mga hazing activities ng fraternities at sororities, it is not only regulation, it is absolute prohibition. Prohibition na yun, except for the two organizations you cited, no? Earlier in your show, yung Philippine sa military at mga police, kasi kasama yun sa requirements nila, no? Because it's in the nature of their job to pass physical and psychological exams. Those are the two only exceptions cited by law. So, absolute prohibition. Nangyari dito sa Ateneo, since it is not a fraternity or sorority, there was an added requirement. And that is the second difference between the old one and the new law. In the new law, even if you are not a fraternity or sorority, but had such a physical activity, physical, psychological, etc. activity, you were required to inform the school. Mandatory requirement yan. So the basketball team or the coaches should have informed the school that there was going to be such an activity conducted for the basketball team as a 2 or 3 day activity, no? Kung hindi nangyari yan, violation na yan. Violation not only of the coaching team, but also of the school. The school maybe not from culpable negligence, because this activity apparently happens every year. So yun ang second major change. Ang third major change is ang penalty ngayon is napakabigat. It is now reclusion perpetua. which is up to 40 years, no? Not only for those who directly participated or organized the events. But kasama dyan, kung meron nanonood na alumni dyan, the alumni of the school, or not only those who directly participated, those who were present but did not do anything. Command responsibility yan ng school. So even the school here,
Attorney,
if the parents are minded to, yes po,
Attorney, sumabog tong issue na ito dahil nga sa nangyari sa Aurora, no? Pero practically, alam natin na yung mga sports na ay intense ang training. Hindi lang itong basketball, no? Soccer, no? Yung iba pang mga physical sports, no? Martial arts, boxing, etc., etc. So, alam natin na merong ganyang klaseng mga training, eh. No? Very intense, talagang maximum limits of physical limits ng mga athletes, di ba? So, dahil sa nangyari, magbabago lahat yan. No? Lahat ng mga
Ay, hindi
training.
naman po.
Oo, hindi ba sila tatamaan ng mga ganyang klaseng dahil talaga namang intense ang kanilang mga training, eh. Both physical and psychological,
I think, Sir Ronald, ang intent naman ng law is not to prohibit, no? I mean, my sons are Ateneo, they're football players. I know what training is all about. I have a
Yes.
grandson who's done martial arts, competed
Yes.
internationally. I know what training is all about.
Yeah.
But what the law seeks to prevent is abusive conduct. Kasi pwede naman training, there is training and there is, I guess, dapat, kasi I must emphasize here, no, na consent, even if pumayag ang mga basketball players na or anybody under training, consent is not the defense. Even if you consent, na kailangan po itong training namin at kailangan manalo ang Ateneo team natin, etc., no? Consent is not a defense of the coaches or the school. We should get here the parents involved. In this activity, the parents should know exactly what their children are going through or will be going through, because the school is a substitute parent. We entrust our children to the school and to their coaches and to their team, hoping that they would exercise their diligence and required. Kasi ang requirement sa batas is family of a good father of the family was that diligence exercised. Hindi po pinoprohibit ang activity for fraternities and sororities. That is absolutely prohibited. But for other organizations, maybe sports organizations, kailangan lang regulation at kailangan zero tolerance. No? There is a mandate in the new anti-hazing law of zero tolerance for physical or psychological suffering, harm, or injury. Hindi lang yun. Kasama ang humiliation. No? Yung pinapahiya sila, kasama yun. Or pinakantsawan sila, kasama yun. No? So, masyadong malawak ang coverage ng bagong anti-hazing law. Sadly, throughout the history of this old and new anti-hazing law, konti sa 10 ang nako-convict, no?
Ma'am, if I may, I took note of Section 3 of RA 11053. Ito po yung amendment doon sa anti-hazing law. Ito yung nababanggit po nyo kanina na may exemption o may leeway na binibigay for the PNP and the AFP training. Of course, because nga very strenuous ang kanilang activity to begin with, and that's part of their job. Pero may pagbabanggit din po doon sa Section 3 na yon na mukhang pati yung athletic events at yung uniformed learning institutions, meron ding leeway na binibigay. But I don't know lang how much leeway is given. Let me read to you lang po that portion. No? Nor shall this provision, yung prohibition, nor shall this provision apply to any customary athletic events or other similar contests or competitions or any activity or conduct that furthers a legal or a legitimate objective, subject to prior submission of a medical clearance or certificate. Yun po. So, is there really, some sort of
prohibition?
leeway, given to athletic training?
There really should be, because it's the nature of the beast. If you're an athlete, you have to go through training. If you're an athlete, you have to go to the discipline of following your coach instructions. If you're an athlete or you are a sports person, alam mo naman na strenuous yan. But there should be a line that should be followed. No? Kagaya ng for instance, the Acho Castillo case, this was before the new anti-hazing law. Acho Castillo case, it was with ignominy, no? Alam na nila na down and out na yung tao, paddle pa rin ng paddle, and they knew that he had a heart condition.
Yeah.
And they knew that he was down and out. The hospital was nearby. And yet, ang ginawa nila, nagtawagan sila. Ang advice ng senior grads, oy, hindi tayo pwede dyan. So, they concocted a story where they left Acho in a sidewalk in Tondo. Dead.
Yeah.
Dead, when he could have been sick. Now, ang question dito is, were there adequate precautions in the case of the Ateneo team or any athletic activity? Meron ba diyang emergency ambulance? Di ba? For instance, in Red Cross, when I was governor of the Red Cross, maraming nagtatanong sa amin, pwede bang magpadala ng ambulance dyan kasi may sports festival kami. Marami namang precautionary measures na pwedeng gawin sa mga activities na yan. So those are factual questions that have to be further investigated by the DOJ when it does its own investigation of this Ateneo coaches, no? Were there precautionary measures? For instance, they knew that they had a schedule of low tide and high tide. They knew that at high tide, it was reasonable to assume that there will be undercurrents. Did they have enough lifeboats? Did they have enough lifeguards? Did they have enough precautionary measures? Yun ang mga tanong, no? So to your question, sir, yes, it may be expected of athletic, sports, training, and organizations, but there is a corresponding mandatory requirement to ensure safeguards, no? Under the law, and the mandatory requirement of informing the school officials of the training.
Siguro, attorney, yun yung mahalaga, yung binanggit nyo kanina, yung teen line. Sabi nyo, may teen line minsan, yung teen line na yan yung dyan nalilito yung mga tao. Yung teen line between abuse at saka yung talagang intense training.
Strenuous training.
Halimbawa, nung college kami nung late 70s,
Naku.
Nako.
hindi lang ROTC
Ronald,
Oo.
1950s ka, athlete ka na, no? Nung
Oh,
1950s.
ayan ka.
Panahon ng hapon.
Nung hindi kami kontento sa ROTC, meron kami ibang training, Sunday Soldier or Rainbow Soldier, no, sa kampo. Pero mga college students kami, intention training ngayon, no? Dahil nga it's the nature of the beast, no? Training, no? So hindi ko na sasabihin yung mga specifics, pero yung teen line several times nalalabag. Baka ganun din yung problema dito sa mga training, no? Yung teen line na yan, kailangan talaga very specific. Di ba? Para yung sinasabi ni Ed kanina na binibigyan ng leeway sa batas ay hindi magiging teen
Excuse.
line.
Hindi
Hindi magiging
excuse.
excuse, hindi magiging gray area. Dahil nga, the nature of the beast is yung border ng iyong physical limits. At even sa ibang sport, psychological limits. No?
Tama po yan, pero idagdag ko lang, na-mention sa press conference, and this should also be validated by further investigation. Now, this is not the first time it happened. May president doon. May nangyari daw, and some athletes, some of the basketball team members testified that sometime in 2016, a similar activity happened. And it involved the same. It involved the same swimming activity where two two apparently of the team members then in 2016 apparently almost drowned, nearly drowned. So may precedent ito. Nung inulit nila this year, dapat meron na silang precautionary measures, knowing that it may happen again. Kasi laws of nature yan eh. Kung dagat yan, wala ka namang control sa dagat na yan, tsaka sa high waves na yan eh. That is predictable. That cannot be force majeure. Kasi force majeure is an event that could not be predicted and could not be prevented. In a dagat like this, it is predictable that high waves will come, and that as a result of high waves, there could be a pull offshore or onshore or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Were reasonable measures adopted. So, palagay ko mahirap sabihin force majeure yan, loss of nature, nangyari yan, high tide dyan. But again, in the press conference, alam nila yung schedule ng near tide at yung low tide at high tide. At apparently, if we are to give credence to what was stated in the investigation, tiniming pa nila sa high tide. Para matest talaga yung mettle, tsaka yung courage, at tsaka yung stamina ng mga team players. Now, this should be further investigated. I'm not saying it's true or false, but this should be further investigated. Kasi tiniming na lang talaga nila sa oras ng high tide.
Attorney, anong responsibilidad dyan ng school? Kasi I understand, yung amendment ng anti-hazing law, mas matindi yung binibigay na responsibility sa school administrators, hindi ba? Kasi in the case of Acho Castillo, pati yung dean nung law school, na who is directly, I think one of the senior members nung fraternity, he got off, di ba? At in this case, sa tingin nyo, ano nakikita nyo pwedeng responsibilidad ng school dyan sa ganyang klaseng training?
The Acho Castillo case is happened before the new law.
Yeah, before. Yeah, oo nga.
Before the new law. So it's not clear. Well, it was not mentioned in the old law na liable ang mga school authorities. I think because sa investigation, nag-drop ang school authorities, nag-drop ang dean ng law school, na-drop ang mga alumni, no? Kasi initially mga 32 yan eh. Ang nangyari, it got whittled down to about 11. No? Kasi it got tried under the old law. And that is why the new law included. Nakita nila, pwede palang lusutan ito. Kasi wala namang clear liability. And that is why now it is clear na solidarity, even if they were not there they were not directly participating, the school is solidarily liable if shown that there was culpable negligence or if they knew and did not prevent. So ang solidarity liability means the penalty for one is a penalty for all. So kung the coaches here will be found to be guilty, kasama rin dyan.
So they could be held
Pero hindi sila kasama ngayon.
So attorney, they could be held
Hindi nga po kasama.
they could be held criminally liable pa din. Kahit nasabi na nila that
Criminally,
that they didn't know about this training in Aurora, this boot camp style training. They've already said they didn't know about it. And yung naalala ko dun sa case ni Acho Castillo, the school got off on the fact that it was held off campus and the administration said that they didn't know about such initiation rights. So those two, could they not be used as defense in this case as well?
Acho Castillo case, it was not really held out of campus. It was held in a library
In the
inside
library.
the school. Inside the school compound. Hindi yung news na naririnig natin na nangyari sa isang bahay. Hindi po, it was in a library inside the school compound. But yes, the school did not know. UST did not know that there was going to be such initiation. And in this case, even if there is now a provision in the new law it should. It is a matter of it is a matter of defense for the Ateneo to say that they didn't.
Ricky.
It happened outside school premises.
Ah.
Lahat yan matter of defense, but I think what's very clear here is as a parent, especially in the light of everything that's happening in the schools, no, may barilan. Ito hindi nga barilan, training lang, namamatay ka pa. So, look at this opportunity to kasi napakalakas po ng anti-hazing law. Wala pang nako-convict outside Acho Castillo and fraternity, 2 or 3 fraternities before the Acho Castillo case. Wala pang nako-convict dyan up to now. Mabibilang po ang mga convictions under the anti-hazing law. Less than 10.
Because it's very difficult to prove.
Well, because it's because this is a criminal case, no? And in criminal cases, it is proof beyond reasonable doubt. So, there could be several defenses available, including exercising the due diligence of good father of the family. Sasabihin ng school, we exercise supervision. And the other thing is, I understand that there are several sponsors of the event who were asked also to give their comment, no? And I think Pangilinan was asked to give an affidavit, and he did say that he's just a sponsor, so walang employee-employee relationship. That's another thing. Meron bang employer-employee relationship ang Ateneo at saka mga coaches since they represent the school in this UAAP? That's another thing, because kung walang employer-employee relationship or walang contractual responsibility ang eskwelahan, that could be a...
Ma'am, you made a point kanina about the lack of precaution, or that at least the apparent lack of precautions by the staff or the coaching staff dun sa nangyari sa Aurora. So I'm wondering lang, what case would have been more appropriate in this particular situation? Would it have been the anti-hazing law, or for example yung reckless imprudence resulting in homicide? What makes one more appropriate than the other?
I think kasi in the anti-hazing law, there are presumptions. There is a presumption if one dies as a result of activity, then the burden shifts, no? So may presumption of guilt. Sa anti-hazing law, parang ganun nangyayari. There's a presumption of guilt if somebody dies or suffers as a result of the activity. So nagsishift ang ikaw, if you are the respondent or the accused, you should prove that you exercised due diligence or that there were enough precautions done, no? Kasi special law ang anti-hazing law. So, ang homicide through reckless imprudence, criminal yan. Mas mabigat i-prove. Kasi criminal law.
Okay. It's
I
harder
think
to
it is
prove.
harder, it is easier to prove under a special law because there are certain presumptions, there are certain requirements and standards that, if violated, already point to guilt.
Okay.
Mas mahirap po. That's why I think the investigating panel said they had no basis. They said homicide, to quote the investigating panel, they said homicide is off the table. It is a possibility, but it is off the table based on the evidence submitted. At I took note, they had 6 interviews, 320 hours, 2 weeks continuous, and 68 lawyers present. No? So, napakabigat. But the sad thing about this has been sensationalized because of the personalities involved. But needless to say, it happens all the time. It happens. Incidents like this is not unique to Ateneo and to the coaching.
Yeah.
On another
It
note,
happens all the
attorney.
time. Na-sensationalize lang to.
Yeah.
On another note, attorney, kamusta yung inyong
Pre-trial.
prosecution team? Kamusta ang inyong pre-trial episodes,
Preparations.
no? So, anong nangyayari there? Dahil kayo yung very prominent doon sa private prosecution. Eh.
Sabi nga nila, Ronald, this is the case of the century. Akala namin the pre-marking would last a whole century. Hindi naman. Which is good because, and we would like to thank the Senate and the Secretary, the Clerk of Court, the Senate Clerk of Court, kasi napamadali. We were able to devise a way more than 4,000 documents, each and every page marked on both sides. No? Not only marked, signed. So, in each page, merong 3 signature. Yung signature ng head ng team ng Senate panel, yung signature ng prosecution, yung signature ng defense. So, can you imagine? All these documents signed on each and every page with 3 signatures. Kasi even if common exhibits, hindi pumayag ng, for instance, ano yung common exhibit? Yung mga SAL-N, common exhibit dapat yun. Yung mga transcripts ng committee hearings, dapat common exhibit yun. Ano? Gusto nila, i-mark namin yung copies namin, i-mark yung copies nila. But anyway, through agreement, and we would also like to thank so much na naging flexible ang Senate, ang reception of sa pre-marking kasi nagdagdag ng mga tables. So we finished as scheduled yesterday at nag-press con nga ang public prosecutors at ang private prosecutors and it's finished. So now we are waiting for a pre-trial order. The pre-trial order will say, ano ba yung mga pinag-agrihan nyo? What are your stipulation of facts? How many witnesses? On the part of the prosecution, we have 62 witnesses and 4,000 documents. The part of the defense, I think they named about 29. So ngayon, ilan ang witnesses, how many trial dates, etc., etc. That will come out in the pre-trial order. And we think that there should be no obstacle to having the first day of hearing on July 6.
Siguro, attorney, hindi alam ng maraming tao, paano yung interplay ng private prosecutor at saka nung mga congressman na prosecutor. So, paano kayo magko-cooperate? Paano ang dami rin ng Ang dami rin ng private prosecutor, no? Mga mahigit.
Marami po kaming private prosecutors.
Yeah.
What will happen there is we filed together, we filed the other day a manifestation. Yung manifestation ng final ng prosecution had certain clarificatory questions, no? Or wanted certain things clarified. Number one, yung paggamit po ng Filipino or Tagalog during the trial. Because the witnesses or the public or the Senate judges, it may be more understandable to use a hybrid of English and Filipino. That's number one. Number two, clarify rin yung use of public and private prosecutors. No? Kasi under the Senate rules, it is allowed. It is allowed that the public prosecutors will have private prosecutors. Yun. So, sinama rin yan sa manifestation. And the interplay of kailan magsasalita ang public at kailan mag-take over, that will depend on the impeachment court. And of course, on the trial strategy of the prosecution panel. At isa pa, sinabi po sa manifestation, hindi naman very clear. Kasi when you make a pre-trial plea, dapat, if you are presenting a witness, klaro kung bakit mo pre-present ang witness. There are about 25 common witnesses. Yung witness namin sa prosecution, pinopya rin nila, gusto rin nilang gawing witness. Sa kanila, for instance, NBI director is a witness. Gusto rin nilang gawing witness, pero hindi nila sinabi yung purpose. All their witnesses on their side, copying our witnesses, just said to disprove. So that's to disprove the allegations in the impeachment.
Attorney, are you
Included
saying
namin sa manifestation.
are you saying of the 29 witnesses that they are saying that they want to present, majority of them are the same as yours, as the prosecution sides?
Yes.
Mga
Kasi
ila-
there are named witnesses and there are unnamed witnesses. Yung mga named witnesses nila, binilang namin mga, if I recall right, mga 25 named witnesses who are also in our list of witnesses. So anong plano nila? Do they intend to recall when our witnesses, who also they named, pwede naman i-cross-examine, are subject to cross-examination. Why do they have to recall these witnesses when they will be subject to cross-examination? Yung mga ibang witnesses na hindi named sa kanilang pre-trial brief is unnamed. So, example ng unnamed. All of those who were notary public in all of the public documents, example, unnamed. All of the witnesses to these documents, unnamed. All of the ganyan, all of the members of the ganyan, unnamed. So, we don't know. We don't know. But the good thing is that under the rules, it has been agreed, as under the rules of procedure, so that there will be no surprises, it has been agreed that 3 days, 3 days before the actual trial date, they should name the witness to be presented. Para alam ng either side, sino ang ipipresent mo ngayon. So, hopefully, when it comes to their turn to present, isasabihin naman nila kung sino yung mga witness nila at anong purpose.
Attorney, sino ang ipresent for Mary Grace Piatos? I mean, you don't have to name the name, but is it a real person? Is it just an alias? What is it?
We don't want. It's in the list. It's in our list, and strategy-wise, she will be subpoenaed. If the prosecution
Saan
wants
ipapadala yun?
to, if the
Saan
prosecution
ipapadala
wants
sa
to name
pina kay
her,
Mary Grace Piatos?
we don't know. We don't know her address. We don't know. Perhaps we will send it to the office of the Vice President.
Okay. Saka
Attorney,
yung green box, dahil hindi na natuloy na binuksan But sure naman tayo na mabubuksan yan during the trial.
In the pre-trial in the last day yesterday, since they did not want the opening of the box, and that is understandable, no, kasi it should be addressed to the impeachment court. Ang sinabi na lang ng prosecution namin, markahan na lang natin yung box. They also did not want the box to be marked. No? So,
Ano yun? Pero sigurado siyang mabubuksan during the trial, di ba?
yes, because in the pre-trial, no, even if the defense did not want the box to be marked, meron kami reservation.
Yes.
Kasi normally the rule is if you did not mark it during the pre-trial, you cannot proceed unless Chairman Jinky, the head of our public prosecutors, made a clear manifestation and reservation that this is among the documents that will be presented during the impeachment trial. So may reservation. They
So
cannot
tuloy siya
suppress
na
that
mabubuksan
evidence.
siya. Okay.
I think there can be no suppression of that evidence because when the articles of impeachment was transmitted to the House, kasama yung mahiwagang box na yan. When it was transmitted to the Senate, yung articles of impeachment together with the annexes and evidence, kasama po yung mahiwagang box na yan.
Yung mahiwagang box, alam naman natin laman, yung tax declaration. Apart from that, makikita din natin yung mga SAL-N dati ni Vice President. During the trial, the people can expect that?
Yes, because it is one of the listed evidence. In fact, the importance of that evidence is apparent because this was used in the House Committee on Justice for determining probable cause.
Attorney, balikan ko lang po si Mary Grace, si Piatos, si Ms. Piatos. Would it be fair to say that that she is being summoned or subpoenaed to deliberately make the point or send a message across that she does not exist?
Well, I don't want to discuss strategy here. No? If I reveal strategy, I will probably have to kill you.
Go ahead, attorney. Ang kulit daw natin. But what about si...
With your permission.
Kawawa naman si Tempura, attorney. Ba't hindi siya naisama?
Tsaka si Makoy.
Bakit si Piatos lang? Si Nova. Paano si Nova? Si Tempura.
May Chippy ba?
Oo.
Si Chippy.
Oo.
Chippy pa, chippy.
Kawawa naman. Paborito ko pa naman yun, Chippy.
What about si Attorney Michael Poa, whom we heard was also on the prosecution's witness list. But again, he's of course the defense lead counsel. Pwede ba yon, attorney? Or is he going to be made a hostile witness?
Well, as I said, we cannot reveal strategy, but I think it's safe to say that he is mentioned in our pre-trial brief. Kasi both parties were required to name witnesses in the pre-trial brief. And his name is there. Whether he will be presented or not will depend on the strategy as the trial continues.
Kumalat, attorney, na nung pre-trial meetings, nilamon daw kayo yung prosecution. So, anong reaction mo ron? Na nilamon daw kayo?
Nilamong kami?
Oo. Kumalat yan. No? Sa social media. Oo.
I don't know how it made kalat, because there was no media around. But that is not true. And as a matter of fact, our public prosecutor, Jinky, it's not fair to say na linamon siya. Because this was not a matter of who made lamon, what, and who. No? This was just a matter of counsels for both parties, the prosecution and the defense, making arguments on the respective sides. That there was some heated discussion, it is part of court proceedings. Di ba? Ganyan lang yan eh. Who made lamon mo? I don't think lamon is correct. And as a matter of fact, it ended up, that day, it ended up being very cordial because that gave rise to an occasion for the Senate Clerk of Court to come out with agreements between the parties.
Yes. Alam ko naman,
Really,
attorney,
agreement to this agreement.
alam ko naman, attorney, knowing you, pag may lumamon sa inyo, mabubulunan eh.
Ay, sinabi mo yan. In fact, wala nga sabi. Ang ko lang mainit ang ulo ko, period ko. Hindi ko alam na kinote naman ako.
I saw that soundbite.
Attorney,
I
pahabol
mean,
ko lang.
stop.
Balikan ko lang si Acho Castillo. Final na ba yon? Yung lahat ng cases regarding that, his death. Wala nang buhay na case doon in connection with Acho Castillo.
The decision came out on October 17.
Yes.
It came out, and there were 11 convicted. And sadly, sad doon is ang mga after 7 years of trial. So this case was filed in 2018 and 2017. Kanya nag-anti-hazing law nung 2018. And this was finally decided on October 1, 2024 against only 10 members. Again,
Yes. 10.
sadly, ang sad dito is parts like this
Please.
na kasama niya doon sa initiation. Mga neophytes rin, walang school authority, walang dean, walang senior
Wala.
judge. No? So these are freshman students, also neophytes in the fraternity and underclass UST who were convicted, and that is why when the decision came out, I also felt, kasi pro bono case namin, I also felt for the parents of these neophytes who I think also, who I whose futures, no, are now affected. So on appeal ito, his case is on appeal, except for one of them who was convicted, who did not appeal and already served term. And has been released for, I think is being released for good behavior. Sana ganun ang mangyari. Even if they do serve their term, sana matapos na yung appeal so they can start serving their term and they can be released for good. Their future is ahead
Lahat sila
Habol-
nakakulong.
with their parents.
Okay.
Yes po.
Pahabol na,
Nakakulong sila.
last na tanong na, attorney, on a personal note, paano noong 2016 tumakbo kayong senador eh? Ito bang 2028 may plano kayo?
Yes.
Yun.
Do I need it? I need it like a hole in the head.
Our conversation is turning violent na.
At
Una
saka
papatayin
maraming
si
ano.
Nothing new, nothing new. Oo.
And I have enough holes in the head.
Oo.
Maraming wannabes na gustong tumakbo sa 2028.
Oo. Eh, pink na pink yung suot nyo, attorney eh. Kaya... Tapos Bicolano pa kayo.
Ay, nagkataon lang. Nagkataon lang ito
Ikaw talaga, instigator
yung
ka.
napili ko sa cabinet.
Hindi, tumakbo siya noong 2016.
Pero siguro kung mas maganda,
Ah.
siguro.
Ah.
I ran, in fact, I ran
Ah.
po. Because nakasama ko dyan, ang mga nasa gobyerno ngayon, no? Mig Subiriran. It was a nice experience for me. Mig Subiriran, Edu Manzano, si Titen, lahat, all characters, Win Gatchalian, Yorme. Maganda yung team namin, Cheese, Grace, and all that. To me, it was more an experience. It was more a saying to myself na I did my part.
So
But
you
never again.
Never
never
again.
again.
Oh, she needs it like a hole in the head.
Oo nga, never again nga.
Hindi, pero
I thought there
Pero
was
si Atty-
I thought there was
si attorney kasi career niya yung maraming hole in the head.
no, exactly. That's also a fair point.
Di ba attorney, marami ka ng hole in the head?
You are not
Ano ba naman yan?
Isa pa.
Dagdag, isa pa.
you are not one to shy away
Isa pa.
from difficulties.
Isa pa. Tama na. Let's reserve. Let us reserve the holes in the head for others who deserve it.
Okay. And on that note, we'll end the conversation. Thank you so much for talking to us, Attorney Lorna Kapunan, one of the private prosecutors in the impeachment trial.
Thank you so much.
Salamat, attorney.
Thank you, attorney.
Maraming salamat.
Salamat,
And have a
attorney.
good day.
Kamusta sa pangit?
You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay. So with us, Amy Pamintuan of the Philippine Star and Ronald Damas, our resident political pundit na nagte-text pa rin.
Political influencer.
So, cases of children in conflict with the law.
Oh.
2017,
CICL.
27,000, 2022, 6,000, 2023, 10,000. Serious crimes. No, ito.
So
rape,
kahit pa paano bumababa.
6,000, murder, 1,000. So, di ko alam kung paano yan
Is there a trend?
play out dito. Mga
Wala tayo lalagyan ng mga yan, ha? Konting-konti lang daw ang bahay pag-asa natin.
Yung sa ano nga eh. Yung sa
dapat nga, Ami, within sa bahay pag-asa, meron pang stricter
Yan na nga.
juvenile facility. Parang
Wala
in
pa
a way,
yatang
parang,
20 all
parang,
over the Philippines siya.
parang maximum nila. Parang kulungan. Pero hindi nila tinatawag na kulungan.
Kasi even in that category, you would want to have another category para hindi naghahalo-halo lang.
Nasa
Merong
kanyan.
mga malalang offender, eh.
Oo, of course.
Nasa batas
Kaya iba
yan.
naman yung pickpocket saka yung killer.
Oo naman.
Yun, yung
Kaya
tawag
nga.
nila 12 to 15 na gumagawa ng heinous crimes. Merong facility dapat para sa kanila within the Bahay Pag-asa. Walang
Hindi
budget
wala
eh.
ang bahay pag-asa.
Walang budget nga eh.
Tacloban wala eh.
Oo.
At ano yan, highly urbanized city. Wala ang Tacloban na bahay pag-asa.
Ay,
Pero meron naman tayong flood control. Ano ka ba?
Ayun na nga ang marami. Yun ang hindi. Marami tayong pondo para sa flood control. Hindi yung flood control. Kung hindi, wala
Babalik
tayong
na.
baha ngayon.
babalik na naman tayo sa flood control.
By the way, yung balita na nasunog yung NBI, hindi daw totoo. Meron lang yatang nag-yosi, nag-alarm yung
Pinag-yosi.
naglumabas yung mga tao.
Wala akong nakitang usok doon. Galing ako doon.
Oh,
Wala akong nakita ron. Kahit ano.
Lumabas yung mga tao, tapos pinabalik din dahil nga wala naman talagang sunog. No? Kaya,
Nag-smoke alarm.
Oo.
Nag-smoke alarm.
Hindi ba no smoking sa mga government buildings?
Hindi, Kwan, yung nag-yosi, pinadala na sa Kwan, Bahay Pag-asa.
Sa bahay
siya, ganun.
pag-asa. Oo.
May minor sa NBI.
Uy, by the way, yung una natin nakausap na police from Aurora,
Which one? Yung
si
OIC.
Colonel ba siya?
Percival
First
Pineda.
one.
Pineda. He was fired daw. Sabi ni General
He was,
Nartates.
he was
Bakit?
in an acting capacity pa lang naman eh.
In that role.
Ah.
Pero he was let go. Before
But
saying that there was no foul play, there was no
Yeah. Oo
or
nga,
his words,
tinanggal siya.
no foul play and accident only.
Yeah.
He was fired for saying that. Wala daw.
Oo nga.
And remember we spoke to him.
Even we were surprised na gano'ng kabilis yung ano niya eh.
Did we speak? It happened on a Monday. Nakausap na natin siya by, I think, Tuesday or
Monday,
Wednesday.
Tuesday,
By Tuesday or Wednesday.
Parang ang bilis ng ano niya eh, ng decision niya eh. And then there were a lot of questions about what he was saying. But anyway, but what usually happens with the police, they're not really fired.
They're moved around.
You can't be fired eh.
Removed
without
from
cause.
their post.
Oo.
Removed.
You may be shifted to another position.
Relieved.
Hindi ka...
Relieved and pwede ka dun sa holding area muna nila. Meaning floating ka.
Suspended
Floating.
animation.
Hindi nga klaro eh.
Wala
paano eh.
mo ng ano. Wala mo ng posisyon.
Kagabi, kausap namin yung parish priest doon sa lugar na nangyari yung barilan. No? Siya, very eloquent.
Sa Tacloban.
Oo, very eloquent siya. Tsaka pinapaliwanag niya, bakit ginagamit na ngayon yung nangyari ng mga politicians. No? Rather than
Ano?
ginagamit daw yung incident, no? Ginagamit na daw ng mga politicians. Hindi daw sensitive daw sa mga pamilya. Nang habol lang naman ay kaunting katahimikan. Kaunting katahimikan para para yung kanilang sakit na naramdaman ay malamunan nila, harapin na muna nila. So, magaling yung pagkakapaliwanag ng pare.
Anong ibig sabihin nun? Baka naman sabihin ng politician, tinutulungan lang nila yung pamilya.
Yeah, exactly.
Hindi, dahil yung pagbisita nila, boom, labas na sa social media. No, yung
May
ganon.
kasamang cameraman.
On the other hand, kung hindi rin naman sila pumunta, kung walang pumunta, people criticize
Oo nga.
them.
Sabihin.
Oo.
Anong ginagawa ninyo dyan? Oo.
Oh, pero kung sila parang insensitive, pupunta sila, may dala sila mga camera, kukunan sila, hindi naman yung mga...
Hindi pa media yung kumukuha ng picture.
Hindi, sarili nila.
Baka naman
May
doon.
Sarili nila,
Yung iba
sarili
doon.
nila. Oo.
Media.
May dala sila eh, pagpunta nila, may dala sila. Para,
Yung iba.
para sila.
May official photographer
Meron din ako
usually
mga
mga
nakita na galing sa media mismo yung litrato, yung pictures.
Saka
Tapos-
yun na nga, tumutulong. Meron na naman kaninang incident dito naman sa Metro Manila, teenager naman sa jeep. 15-year-old inaresto. Na assaulted the passenger. Hindi ko lang alam kung ano dahilan.
Ako, nung
Kailangan maging malinaw na kahit kulang ng bahay pag-asa, nadidetain naman yung mga minor. Dapat i-emphasize din yun.
Ano sabi mo, nung 15 years old ka?
nung 15 years old ako, napakabait ko eh. No? Tsaka
Talaga?
napaka-peaceful. Hindi ako
Baka
makakuha
baka may nagde-develop na yung Alzheimer's
Hindi ako makapatay. Hindi ako makapatay.
Hindi mo maalala kung yung ginagawa niya.
Hindi ako makapatay ng lamok at saka langgam. Saka hindi ako naglalagay ng thumbtacks dun sa upuan ng aking teacher na terror.
Kasi pako ginagamit mo.
Tinatanggal lang yung ano, yung tornilyo ng upuan.
At 15, di ba? Ako at 15, I was in college. O ano,
Wala pang kwento, wala pang pag-asa nun eh. Bahay pag-asa.
Ay, nako, kayo talaga. Friday na and we have 5 minutes to go. We better end on a
Si
positive
Juan
note.
kaya, si Reg kaya, anong ginagawa niya nung 15 years old siya? Eh? Siguro,
Ako yata yung
pala ito, teacher's pet, no? Yan, teacher's pet. Ito yata yung estudyante, lagi may dalang mansanas sa kanyang
Boy,
guro.
hindi na uso yung mansanas sa my kind.
Tingin mo, yun lang ang tingin ko.
sorry Na-imagine ko eh.
Di ba? Na-imagine mo, di ba?
Na-imagine ko,
Excuse me, whose side are you on?
na-imagine ko yung younger Reg yun, ha?
Oh, excuse me.
Napaka-sip-sip siguro
Si
niya.
Ami, si Ami yung katabo.
Ha? Napaka-sip-sip
Ako
siguro.
yung naglalagay ng thumbtacks.
Oo. Napaka-sip-sip nyo eh. Oh,
Uy, hindi. I wasn't a teacher's pet.
Ako hindi ako naglalagay sa thumbtack sa upuan. Ng mga terror.
Kaya ikaw nga, pako nalagay mo eh.
Yung mga humahampas sa kwan ko, humahampas sa kamay ko. Dati kasi talagang capital punishment nun eh. Nung panahon na yun, di ba?
Oo nga. Sa
Walang-
Hindi
Corporal. Anong capital
Hindi
punishment?
capital is patay.
Corporal punishment.
Kung capital punishment, ano ka,
punishment.
guni-guni namin.
Yung corporal kasi mababang ranggo eh. Kaya tinaasan ko. Sergeant.
Capital tokhang na yun.
Capital pa.
Hindi, masakit yun ha. Yung mapalo ka na ruler dito sa...
Oh, yung
kwan.
ruler.
Masakit yun ha. Oo.
Bibigyan nga ako ng
Ruler.
ruler ng EP natin, si Jan. But until now, wala pa. So, maybe next week may wooden ruler.
Matindi yun, noong early 70s.
May mga nagreklamo, di ba, nung pinasayang yung ban on corporal punishment. Pero mga magulang na nagreklamo, sabi nila, ba't di ba pinakikialaman pa gano'n namin? Paano kung pasawa yung anak daw?
Oo. Dahil mga
Pero
magulang, subject
ganyang,
yan eh.
ganyang pushback noon eh.
Oo. Oo. Sa US,
Ngayon naman sabi, oy, disiplinahin nyo nga yung mga anak ninyo. Yan naman ang sinasabi ngayon. Dahil dito sa nangyari sa Tacloban.
sa US kasi, Ami, yung bata, pag tumawag sa police, pwedeng ipakulong
Yes.
yung mga magulang eh.
Oo nga.
Pwedeng ipakulong,
6 to 7 years old nga.
Hmm.
Oo. Kahit sa UK, ang standard mga 11, I think 11. Hindi, 8.
Paano kaya si Reg ng 7?
Nung 7,
Paano po ba?
Teka lang, ang point ko doon is, you can't compare to the US and the UK. These are countries that have the, institutional support for children. The issue with, one of my issues with yung lowering the criminal age of liability to 10 or 12. 12 is,
yeah.
sobrang bata man ng 12. And how could we talk about lowering the criminal liability age when we aren't able to take care of our children as a society, di ba? We're
Yeah,
still the
tama.
pornography capital of the world.
Tama.
Bullying is rampant,
Capital.
as you said.
Bullying capital.
Yung teenage pregnancy is still rampant, is still endemic. All of these societal issues, di ba?
Lalo na yung
How
ating
can we
mga...
talk about lowering it when we can't even protect our
Lalo
own
na yung ating
children?
role models. No? Ang nag-propose ng lowering sa 10 years old, siya yung nagpakawala sa isang 64-year-old senator na may kaso ng crimes against humanity.
10 years
Paborito mo.
old?
Siya yung nagpatakas
10
doon
years
sa
old.
kwan eh. Propose siya ni Robin Hood, di ba? Pero,
10 ba?
di ba, kakasuhan siya.
Ang dominant naman na dito is 12.
Could be as low as 12.
Yung proposal.
Oo, ang sabi kasi ni
12.
Senator Robin Hood, bakit daw walang special session para sa bill niya? No? Lowering the...
Medyo malabo yung 10 years old dito.
Oo.
Kahit 12. 12 is not too far off from
Yes,
10.
yes.
Sus, Mariosep, 12 is still...
Oh, imagine mo si Manny Mugato at 10 years old, no?
naman tayo.
Oh, imagine mo.
Kasi ang counter-argument naman dyan, yung mga tao na they want their children protected. Sa mga ganyang mga Kapareho niyang 14-year-old na yan. Nanahimik daw yung mga anak nila. Ayan, bigla na lang hindi na nila makikita. Pareho nung dalawang hindi na namin nakita. Nagtrabaho lang na maid yung isang Hindi na niya nakita anak niya.
Napanood mo na ba?
Dead na.
Napanood mo na ba yung Roblox, Ami? Yung
Hindi,
game.
hindi ako nanonood naman. Ganyan,
Pinapanood
wala
ang
ako hilig sa ano.
Roblox.
Oh, yung, talagang very
Game.
violent eh.
Oo, kahit
violent
naman yung
eh.
gore box.
This Gore
But
box.
is banning
Yeah.
video games the answer?
Yeah.
Regulating.
Hindi ko alam.
Regulating for a certain age.
Regulated
Access.
naman siya, di ba?
Yeah.
It's recommended for yung access.
18
yes.
daw nga. Oo,
Yes.
yan
Yung
ang sabi ng
access,
gore
walang
box,
regulation.
Kaya lang, wala kang control naman kasi kung sinong kukuha eh.
Eh, may
Hindi,
mga
ewan
bansa
ko kung
na
kaya natin,
may mga bansang Australia, may ganung regulation sa younger.
Australia,
Yun na nga.
bawal mag-social media ang minors.
Oo, may mga
Under
ganun eh.
13.
No?
Yun ang pinag-uusapan ngayon. Kaya ba natin?
Yes, di ba may
Kaya ba
nag-file
natin
na ng bill?
i-regulate yung access to ganyang violent games?
And also social media. I think there's somebody's proposing a bill on that. I can't remember.
Halimbawa,
Social media ban.
halimbawa, online gambling. Naku, ang laki ng tama niya sa mga bata. No?
And bumalik na yung mga billboards, ha? By the way, the ads are
Online
everywhere.
gambling,
Yes.
walang pa niyan, ha?
Very
Ah,
aggressive.
Yeah.
walang regulation na na-implement, ha?
Oh, the
Mga bata.
ads are everywhere on social media, the billboards.
Kaya ang taas ng mga kausap ko local officials, ang taas daw ng level of depression, tsaka mga danger sa mga bata dahil sa online gambling. Nauubos yung baon,
matatalo ka eh.
nangungutang, tapos very accessible sa cellphone.
Natatalo
Very
ka.
accessible.
Oh.
Yung access everywhere. Okay. Sabi ko, we have to end on a positive note. Kayo
Positive
talaga.
naman yun ah.
Oh, positive naman yun.
Oo.
Si Reg at 10 years old, di ba positive yun?
The positive note is,
Imagine mo.
Ayoko imagine.
Hoy, nag-propose na ng budget, 7.2 trillion.
yes, another record high. Saka na
By
natin,
2026.
saka na natin
2027.
himayin. Because maraming debt
Ay,
doon.
o tingnan na tayo.
Okay.
Goodbye na kayo.
Thank you for joining StoryCon today. I'm May Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again Monday at 4 p.m. for StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao, Kabaret. We are One News, your side all the time.
Happy weekend.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.